Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
At Connect Home Center, they've been a part of the Mead Lumber family since 2000. Now, they're bringing everything together under one trusted name, Mead Lumber. Don't worry, your favorite team, great service, and high-quality products aren't going anywhere. Connect Home Center is becoming Mead Lumber. Same people, same service, just a new name. From design to finish, here for you every step of the way. Check them out at meadlumber.com.
Being in business has its rewards as well as its challenges. It means being the first one in the door in the morning and turning off the lights when you leave at night. Your business is unique, and you need a bank that understands your needs. You deserve the best. You need a financial partner that is invested in your success. You need Pioneer Bank and Trust. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Mom, can we please go to Waitiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Waitiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Waitiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WaitikiWaterPark.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Wall Street Journal reports that Live Golf is facing the possibility of imminent closure, with Saudi Arabia's public investment fund on the verge of pulling its funding for the tour. ESPN reports the Major League Baseball Players Association fired Chief Operating Officer Xavier James and Head of Human Resources Michael O'Neill today for cause after an internal investigation that was precipitated by a Department of Justice investigation. Major League Baseball's collective bargaining agreement expires this December. On the field today, the Arizona Diamondbacks won at Baltimore in 10 innings, 8-5. Arizona's Adrian Del Castillo, 5 RBI, including the go-ahead 2-run home run at the top of the 10th inning. The Red Sox' Trevor Story had 5 RBI, including a 3-run home run in their 9-5 victory at Minnesota. I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, are we ready to go on a Wednesday? I am ready to go. I am ready to go. Are you ready to go? Let's have a little fun. Thought-provoking sports talk back and ready for South Dakota. We are live, Fox Sports Radio, KWSN Sioux Falls. Welcome in. Hope you've had a great Wednesday. Also here on Fox Sports Rapid City, we are out of the gate. And it is always a great day in South Dakota. Say it with me. You can hit us up tonight. Text line is open. Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline's open. We'll get to that. A reminder, stream the show and watch us live on X at Nate Brown Show. You can vote in our question of the day, even though the X polls are a mess right now. Get yourself together, X. Watch us live and stream us. The stream is good on X at Nate Brown Show. Welcome in there. YouTube channel is up, The Nate Brown Show. Subscribe to it. We'd appreciate it. The Nate Brown Show. All you youngsters, YouTubers, you got us there. The Nate Brown Show and Midwest Sports Plus. This show is live right now on the new high school sports streaming app, taking South Dakota by storm. Midwest Sports Plus. We are live. I told you, hit us up on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. It's open, 605-720-1067, powered by the Pizza Ranch at East 10th Street in Sioux Falls, and a location in Brandon. Those two locations, great places, locally owned and operated, home of everyone's favorite buffet, the Pizza Ranch. Also, Barron's Wilson text line. You can text the show directly. Your comments come into the listener text line, 605-720-1067. Hit us there. Wednesday show, let's look at the guests. Got a good lineup tonight. Dan Swartos pops on tonight from Pierre, Executive Director, South Dakota High School Activities Association. So here's how this goes. We usually work through a lot of high school sports stuff, and then we try and get Dan on, I don't know, it's maybe once a month, once every couple of months, to kind of go through some things, board meetings, and all sorts of things that happen in South Dakota high school sports to keep you plugged in. So today's one of those days. Dan Swartos coming up. A few things to discuss with the Activities Association Executive Director. We'll go to Major League Baseball writer Scott Pianowski tonight. It is baseball season. Scott Pianowski on if the Twins can actually stay in this thing. They have the best record in the American League, even with the loss today to the Red Sox, but they've been looking good. The Twins, Scott Pianowski, is he a believer? Yahoo Sports Major League Baseball writer on the way. We'll go to Nebraska. Gary Sharp, after the Huskers wrapped up spring ball. Where are the expectations for Husker football? Gary Sharp is plugged in. He is on tonight from Omaha. And Craig Maddock on a Wednesday. East River meets West River. A lot to discuss with the all-timer Craig Maddock from SDPB Sports. All right, it is track season, it's baseball season, softball season, all that stuff, spring soccer, all this stuff going on. So here's something I want to start with, and I want you to go see this video if you haven't. Okay, I'm going to start with this, and then we'll get to some other stuff. There is a baseball video that has gone viral today. When I say viral, I'm not talking 100,000 views. This baseball video today of a 12U travel baseball game, 12U travel baseball game, has been seen 2 million times today. I just saw it this morning as I was getting ready for my day. I'm like, what's happening here? Is this fake? Is this just goofy stuff? So this has now brought the old guys like me. I'm going to be called, what are you going to call me? Old man, boomer? Do the kids call me boomer? I'm not a boomer. Give me a break. Have some respect for the boomers, by the way, you young guys out there. But this has brought in the classic guys of baseball, respect for the game and teaching it the right way and fundamentals and everything. And then it's brought in but you got to have fun. You got to have fun. What am I discussing? So you find this video. I'll explain it here, and we'll discuss it for 6 minutes. This is a 12U baseball game, and there is video of this kid who hits a home run, and then his celebration after the home run is one of the all-time celebrations I've ever seen. It involves the whole team. It involves the coaching staff. He slams his bat down. He runs around the bases. They bring out props of a mini basketball hoop, and he takes a mini basketball when he crosses home plate, and he slams it through the basketball hoop. The coach is holding the basketball hoop. So why am I bringing this up? This is 2026. Our sports culture, what is it? Is this, people will say, it's not going to be like it used to be. The crusty old guys aren't in charge anymore and whatever. You got to have kids have fun. Or is it crossing the line? Because, by the way, people have commented now, like Doug Minkiewicz. You know him, right? Dougie, former ex-Major League Baseball player, Red Sox, Twins. And Minkiewicz called it a dangerous me-first show that harms baseball. This has gone crazy today. 2 million views of this. So if you're on X or whatever social media you're on, you can find this thing. 12U baseball game, home run celebration, and defenders are saying kids should be able to enjoy the big moments, and you're not the fun police. There are defenders of this. I can't be one of those guys. So I don't know what this I don't know what direction we're going. I think you can still have fun in sports, guys. We all can have fun in sports and still not do dumb stuff like this. And then I feel bad because the adults that are in charge of that program, the coaches, they're in charge of the program, whatever this is. It's a 12U game. He was at what is this tournament? A perfect game tournament. This must be a baseball club, a traveling baseball thing. Perfect Game, it's called, one of the circuits that you can play in. So the coaches and people that are in charge of this, they encourage this. They actually were a part of this celebration. He hit a home run, and there was people following him around with cameras. This isn't the World Series. This isn't Major League Baseball where we're trying to get social media interactions and the whole thing. But that's what they're treating this like. This has created a gap of, are there really people that think this is cool and this is the way to do it? This is the way to play sports, and this is the way to get noticed. It's no longer about just hit the home run, give your teammates high fives, get back to work, and play the game. Now, by the way, this isn't running rampant, correct? So this isn't just going across the country, but I'm telling you, if stuff like this is happening and coaches are participating, this is the type of stuff that kids see today, because you saw this. It's 2 million views on social media today of this 12U home run celebration. Kids are watching it thinking, are they thinking this is cool? Oh, that was cool. Slammed the bat, ran around the bases, got the basketball celebration with the mini hoop, and the coach held it up, and he slam dunked it, and his teammates were all around. I mean, this is off the charts, and we got live video of this. We got video, and a baseball coach posted it, by the way. A baseball coach posted it. So let me just get down to the nitty-gritty here. Let me get down to the nitty-gritty and bring in fun police. Yeah, you can't police the fun, or the old school. I tend to always go that route. I'm not that old, believe it or not. I'm still trying to tell you guys that. I'm not that old, and I can't deal with this. I cannot deal with this. Let me ask this question of the day, just point blank. Over-the-top home run celebrations. This isn't the first. It's not the last. This isn't the norm, but it is stuff that then goes on social media, and I do believe kids see it and think, now that's funny. That's good stuff. And I just can't have kids thinking, well, maybe we should think of this, think of that. They're thinking of new things. This stuff, by the way, started, you saw the props in college football. Remember the interceptions and the turnover chain and the slot machine at UNLV? All of this garbage stuff, then it leaks down into 12U baseball and a video that's been watched 2 million times today. Should we care this much? We watched this 2 million times. Is it just move on? It's no big deal. It's a one-off. Kids are having fun. Yeah, I might not want my kid in on that, but it's not a big deal. That's my question of the day to you. Over the top, this is a viral baseball celebration. 12U, by the way. 2 million views. And I wonder what this program is. Are they thinking this is cool? I haven't dug into this and seen if there's been any, hey, this is our program, and this is what we do. We just have fun. I haven't dug into this at all. It's gotten so many views, it's off the charts, and there's former Major League players commenting that this is really bad for the game. And that's what I'm asking you. Bad for the game, a really big deal, or you just move on and don't hate the funny? Don't you like the funny? I don't like this funny. Over-the-top home run celebrations, youth baseball games. Have you seen it? Is it something we should care about like this? 2 million views? That's how far it's went today. I mean, that's fast. That's a lot of views of a 12U baseball celebration. I don't know if it's going to be making SportsCenter or anything, but, these accounts like Barstool and stuff, this is just right in their wheelhouse. They promote this stuff. They think this, and the Barstool crowd, you guys, they think this is cool. They actually think this is funny, and that's where our generations are smacking together. The generation mine, I think, is saying this is ridiculous. And then the younger generation, I think, a lot of them think this is cool. And you tell me, it's okay? Just move on. They're having fun. It's not a big deal. Or you just can't let stuff like this happen. You give an inch, they're taking a mile. And I do believe all that celebrations in football and on the sideline and stuff, I do think I thought that was dumb before, and it may sound like I just don't like the fun. I thought that was stupid, and the group celebrations and all that turnover chain and all that stuff. I think it's dumb. And people just kind of let this go, and then it goes all the way down to 12U. You know what I was told by a baseball coach this year? You know what I was told, okay? This is how this is going to go. With the challenge system of baseball, where the batter taps his helmet challenging the pitch or whatever, I was told you're going to see that at Legion baseball games. Do you guys believe that? So the umpire makes a call. Watch for this spring and summer. The umpire makes a call, and if the hitter disagrees with it here in South Dakota, this coach thinks you're going to see a batter or somebody do that in jest to kind of embarrass the umpire, tap his helmet as he's walking to the dugout. So watch for that. That's what I'm talking about, stuff like that we're doing at the high level, and then it gets down into the 12U level. We got people voting on this, 605-720-1067 on the text line. Over the top youth celebration and home run, something we should care about at all? Yes, you can't put up with this stuff, or no, just move on. They're having fun. 64% you can't put up with it tonight. 36% move on. They're having fun. You tell me. I can't. I just can't. I mean, they're producing highlights now for 12U kids, and he's doing it for the show. I mean, he's trying to do this for the gram or whatever you guys call it. 605-720-1067. You want to chime in? That's our poll on Twitter. 64% of you don't like it. 36% of you are going to... You watch the video. You're going to approve of that? 36% of you are going to approve of it? All right. I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay, let me get into this really quick. The Athletic, this is the time where transfer portal's off the charts in college basketball. 2,000 players are in the transfer portal. Have you seen that? 2,000 players in the portal. The Athletic just did a poll of college basketball coaches and general managers. These are the guys that are trying to get players in the portal and trying to keep their players on the whole thing. This is The Athletic, and the article's out today. They just did a poll of college basketball coaches and general managers and asked them, how much money is it going to cost for high-level teams to keep big-time players or to get big-time players? So this is power teams. These are tournament contending teams. I mean, if you want to be in that mix. So that means Huskers, who just made their run, Iowa, whoever you want to put in there. The average roster, according to coaches and general managers for the next season, this is basketball, 10 million to 12 million range. 10 to 12 million range. That's basketball. And you're going to say, well, that's not crazy. It's basketball. There's only 7 guys that play, 8 guys. Only 8 guys play. And they're running next year 10 to 12 million for the upcoming season. A general manager's in the Athletic article saying the numbers are insane. Here's the breakdown. Borderline starter, you're not sure, you might be coming off the bench, could get around $1.5 million at the biggest programs. A definite starter at the big programs, $2.5 million for this next year. Starter gets $2.5 million for sure. And that's just a starter on, I don't know, Illinois. Not like NBA. They say a projected NBA pick, if he's that good, up to $4 million. And we've seen this. What did Debanza get at BYU? Didn't they say something like $6 million was the report? That's Debanza this past year at BYU. They got one of the best players, maybe the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. I think it was $6 million. So you're talking huge dollars. Huge dollars. 10 to 12 million for a basketball team. And then you throw in the football reports from Michigan. They were talking $40 million potentially at Michigan. Kyle Whittingham, the new head coach, he said for football, you're going to be running about $40 million. how can you tell me the colleges, even the big-time programs, are they going to be able to keep on biting this off? The numbers, they say, are out of control because the colleges just keep on spending the money. Some of these colleges in the Athletic, the article points out today, they don't just necessarily have all of this money right now. They just go out and make sure they get the guys, and then they're like, we'll figure this out. This is on top of Cal Berkeley. You know, Cal, Pac-12 team that left, right? And now they're in the new conference. And Cal just reported they're going to cut 25 athletic staff today. They're going to be done in June, but they just announced it today. Cal. This is Cal Berkeley. They have some money, you would think. They're already in debt. They're going to cut 25 people in their athletic department. This isn't the first type of story you're going to hear. I'm telling you guys, it's off the charts. 2,000 players in the portal, 10 to 12 million for a basketball team. That's the range that consistently you're going to get if you got to compete at the big level. So that's the Huskers, that's Iowa, that's these programs that are trying to stay in the mix. I don't know if you can cover that number every single year, and it keeps on going up. Craig Maddox coming up, by the way. He is Craig's a little bit older than I am. Lister text coming in saying the baseball celebrations are fine, saying I sound old, and we just got to let them do it. Oh, come on. You want bat slams, social media videos, dunking a basketball, running to the dugout? I don't see that. I don't like it. Craig Maddox, I'm sure he's going to have something on this coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Spring is here and Splash City is blooming with savings. It's their spring kickoff sale. Your backyard retreat is calling. Imagine relaxing, soaking away the day in a brand new Sundance or jacuzzi spa from Splash City. During the spring kickoff sale, get 0% financing for 72 months or save up to $5,000 in instant rebates. Why Splash City? Highest quality brands, largest dealer in spas and hot tubs in the region, and you get huge savings every time. Don't wait. Visit Splash City in Sioux Falls, Rapid City, or Sioux City today.
Want to do more of what you love and earn cash back doing it? With a Visa Cashback Credit Card from Black Hills Federal Credit Union, it's possible. Earn 1.5% cash back on everyday purchases like gas and groceries, and use it to fund your shoe obsession, vinyl collection, or airline upgrade. Plus, spend $2,000 in your first 90 days and get a $200 cashback bonus. Learn more at bhfcu.com/cashback. Offer subject to credit approval. Other restrictions apply.
If you haven't been to Trav's Outfitter yet, what are you waiting for? Trav's has the largest selection of footwear anywhere. Work, Western, and casual footwear, and we dare you to compare our selection to anyone. But here's the real difference. You don't have to sell yourself a pair of shoes. Our team helps you find the right fit for your feet. Find us in the old Kmart building, Trav's Outfitter. Best selection, best service, no BS.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Mainly clear skies tonight with lows around 50. Winds out of the southwest 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly cloudy skies expected tomorrow. Chance of thunderstorms. Highs around 73. A mixture of precipitation likely tomorrow night. Lows dip down to about 30. Cloudy skies. A dusting of snow tomorrow night through Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 69 degrees.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
At Dakota Discount RV, we're in it for the long haul, just like you. Whether it's cross-country adventures, weekends by the lake, or family time under the stars, we're here to keep you rolling for years to come. While others are packing up, we're doubling down with dependable service, great prices, and the biggest selection in the region. Your journey doesn't stop here, and neither do we. Here tomorrow, here for every mile ahead. Online at DakotaDiscountRV.com.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker, Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work, and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Just getting going on a Wednesday. Packed lineup tonight. Dan Swarto is going to join us live from Pierre, South Dakota High School Activities Association Executive Director. A couple of items we want to get into tonight. A constitutional amendment that's going to the school boards for reclassifying if you're an 8th grader in South Dakota. And I just want to see where this is going to go. I want to see if the school boards, they're going to vote on this. You got to get 60% to vote for it. And so, like, if you're an 8th grader and you played varsity or high school sports, you can't reclassify and do 8th grade again and play more high school sports, okay? That's what they're looking at in South Dakota. We'll get into that with Dan Swartos. Gary Sharp's coming up from Omaha. We'll talk Husker football as spring ball is wrapped up. Big year for the Huskers in football. Year number 4, Matt Rule. Is he going to get some stuff done? Let's go to Craig Maddock, SDPB Sports. He's in tonight. Craig, a lot to discuss. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Great to hear your voice.
I appreciate you. Okay, I was just called old in my opening segment. So that should make you feel, I don't know, but you're a little bit older than me. Here's the question for today, and then we'll get into some South Dakota sports stuff. So there's a baseball video that's gone wild today. Over 2 million views of this already on social media, of course. 12U travel baseball game. 12U. A baseball kid hits a home run. They're videoing it. They have production. They're following him around the bases. He slams his bat, celebrating, then runs to home, and the coaches hold up a mini basketball hoop, and they got a mini basketball, and they throw that to him, and he slams that through, and it's just a huge viral moment. Some Major League Baseball players have said, oh, this is bad for baseball. I'm in this generation that I can't have this, but I was told I'm old. So what do you think the real story is on letting kids do something like this?
That's a great question, and they didn't tell you to get off their lawn today, did they?
Close.
Most likely. I'm not in on the throwing of the bat. I mean, I just don't like that. If you want to go ahead and prance around the bases and skip around or whatever, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, to me, I would be telling my players, if you hit a home run, go around the bases like you've done it before. And but as far as skipping around and all that, I guess I don't have a problem with it because I know the next time if I'm pitching, that guy is not going to get any close to a pitch to be able to hit again.
Okay, the coaches actually, they brought the props. They were part of the home run celebration. And I just think this has gone like we turn it into a look at me thing way more than we used to.
I think it is in the minority on it. I think it is. A lot more coaches are not going to allow their players to do it. But if I'm the pitcher and I gave up the dinger, the next time they come up, they're not going to see a pitch for them to be able to do it again.
All right, that's wild.
How's that?
Well, all right. I know what you're saying there. Baseball.
I'm not going to hit them. I'm not going to hit them, but they're not going to get a pitch.
Okay.
For them to hit again.
Okay. Baseball.
I used to do that in slow pitch softball all the time. Somebody hit a home run off me. If I couldn't hit them, I wouldn't give them a pitch.
Nothing. Okay, no cheese balls. I got you on that. By the way, Doug Minkiewicz said it ruins, harms baseball, the Me First show. It's dangerous to let kids do this flashy celebration at this travel baseball tournament. So it's been watched a lot. I think it just shows one generation against another and where this is going. Okay, let me go to South Dakota and get your read on a couple of things here. You covered the state basketball tournaments. You covered the girls' AA. It was in the Summit Arena, big arena. Here's the discussion I'm hearing yesterday at the State Site Selection Committee that the big arenas for the girls' state basketball tournaments, there was a comment made, I wouldn't put any of the girls' basketball tournaments in the big arenas, Summit Arena, Monument, Premier Center. It just, it could take away from the tournament. So I ask this. Is the big arena not the right fit for girls' state basketball?
A couple of years ago, the AA girls were out in Rapid, and attendance was pretty good. It was really good. That was a few years back. This year, it suffered. I believe it was because of the weather. I have long been a proponent that if the boys play in the Summit, if the boys play at the Denny, if the boys are playing in a big arena, the girls should be able to play there too. It's the joy of them playing in a big arena. Now, if you want to go ahead and pack everybody into Brookings or to Huron, fine. But I am very big that if the boys get to play there, the girls should be able to play there as well.
Okay.
Attendance has been okay at times, but there's been times where at the Summit, they can put the curtains up in the third level up there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And they do the same thing at the Denny. I mean, do that for the boys too at times, and so they can mark that off so that it feels a little bit more intimate. But as far as the girls, we can't let them play in these big arenas. I say pahooey to that. They should be able to play in them as well.
See, I've been in agreement with that, Craig. I've been in agreement with your point. I said, I think they should get the best venues. I think players like playing in really cool arenas like that. I know I did way back in the day. I got to play in a big arena in Montana. I thought that was the best. I didn't want to go to a smaller arena. But some people are saying, well, the Pentagon's so much better because you can get the crowd in there and it's intimate and it's right there. So I guess I'm okay with the Pentagon. Are you?
I would be fine with it, but again, it seats 3,500, 3,000. That's it.
Yep.
And the AA girls were there a few years back. Did that tournament. Washington won that one, and it was no doubt. There's no doubt that the smaller arenas, it's going to pack up and fill up, and it's going to feel great. So then why don't the boys play there? Make it a limit then. The first 3,000 people in get to see the boys tournament. The first 3,000, and then you raise the ticket prices. I don't like that. I don't like that idea. I really like the idea of the Summit. Of course, the Denny Sanford Premier Center, they don't want high school tournaments there anyway, so just go ahead and scratch them off the list.
Hang on a second. By the way, what do you think the players and coaches want? If you ask girls basketball teams today, hey, would you want to play in the Premier Center for state? Would you want to play in the Summit Arena for state? Or do you want to go to Watertown? Do you want to go to Black Hill State? Do you want to go to the Pentagon? What do you think the players and teams would say? What do you think?
I think the players like the big arenas.
Okay.
I think they like it. It's a big atmosphere. It's an atmosphere that they certainly don't see during the regular season. I mean, they're playing at the Rapid City Central Cobbler Gym, or they're playing in the Washington Warrior Gym, and let's face it, during the regular season, they're not filling those places up either.
Yeah. No, I think that's right. I think you put them in the big arenas. A lot of my audience commented yesterday, no, they should not be in the big arenas. They should be in smaller arenas for a better atmosphere. Jamie Parrish, you know him at Sioux Falls, Washington, he said, well, when you ask this, what's the goal? Is it best experience for the girls, for the fans?
Yep. Yes.
Yes to those, increasing attendance. So he said, what's the goal of a state tournament venue for the girls?
Well, if you want to increase attendance, you do. Of course, the association will never go for this. But what you do is you let in all the high school kids in for free. Let them in, fill the joint, and then go from there. But that's not going to stick either.
Greg Maddux on tonight. Find him at SDPB Sports. His podcast is called In Play. I got one more. It's going to go to the school boards for a vote. It's got to have 60% approval on a constitutional amendment. I didn't know this was going on. I really didn't. I haven't seen it a lot. But in South Dakota, they're being asked on an increasing scale, can my child repeat 8th grade for sports before starting 9th grade? So they're trying to reclassify. They play 8th grade, and they might play in some of the high school programs, and they want to do 8th grade again. That would give you an extra year of development and an extra year of high school sports. The Activities Association saying, we're going to send this to the schools to see if they're going to bar this red shirt year. What do you say?
I have heard this, and I have heard specifics on this over the last few years where there have been some parents who will hold back their child a year so that they believe that their talent level will be that much better by holding them back before they get into 9th grade, specifically for athletics. And to me, I think that is so silly, so ridiculous. I don't know where these parents are coming from. But if it's for academics, certainly we always know the kids have been held back in a number of grades. I understand that, but I think we know a lot what's going on, and you can't say you can only do 8th grade once. I mean, if there is a child that really developmentally for their academics needs work on the 8th grade, yes, then they can pull back, but not when it comes to athletics. I have no idea how they're going to be able to figure that out to outlaw it or whatever. I mean, but it has happened, but I don't think it's that big.
Yeah,
I don't think it's happened very often.
Here's how they'll do it, Greg. They're saying the eligibility clock for activities, so that would be sports, that would expire. You can be held back, and you can still play, but you end up being a senior, 19 years old, and you got held back, and you're trying to play again and get an extra year. They're not going to allow that. That's what this would change.
Okay, I'm with that. I could handle that.
Okay, very interesting. It's going to go.
I could handle that.
Are the schools going to vote for this?
Again, there are going to be kids who have to be held back for academics. I mean, that's the truth. So what are you going to say about those?
Okay, what are the schools going to say? You need 60% on this.
Yeah, 60% is tough in anything they're voting for. Hard for me to say what that vote's going to be.
Greg Maddux on tonight. We got a good start there.
I should have been held back a couple of years.
Dan Swartos will explain even more his thoughts on this coming up with the Activities Association tonight. Craig, good to get us going, man. I appreciate you.
All right, Nate. Take care.
See ya. Greg Maddux, his podcast is In Play on SDPB Sports. Download it where you get your podcast. Greg Maddux live from Sioux Falls. Who sounded older on the baseball celebrations, me or Craig? I guess me. I mean, Craig said he had no problem with him dancing and prancing around the bases. Hit a home run and dance and prance. Oh, boy. What does Craig do when he bowls? He gets a strike and dances around, prances around. I'd like to see that. Gary Sharp is in next from Nebraska. Is this the year where the Huskers make strides or it continues to go downhill? They just wrapped up spring ball. What does Gary Sharp expect for Husker football? I want to get into that and more. He's the Sports Talk host from Omaha coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Andersen, we handle everything from start to finish and beyond. We are your full-service custom replacement solution. Buy one Acclaim replacement window or ensemble entry door and get the second 40% off with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Don't wait. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Radio, the Nate Brown Show. Loaded up on a Wednesday. We're on KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, and Fox Sports Rapid City. Glad you're here. Major League Baseball writer Scott Pianowski's on tonight. Yahoo Sports national writer. Are the Twins? I don't know. It's 162 games, guys. Twins have the best record in the American League. Barely, but they've got it. Can the Twins do like this, just cheap run here and make it happen in an AL Central that's not great? Scott Pianowski's coming up, his take. Dan Sorto's talking high school sports. A couple of big questions for Dan tonight. He's the executive director of the Activities Association, live from Pierre. Hey, Gary Sharp's on from Nebraska. Husker football spring game in the books. Husker football 4th year, Matt Rule. Ohio State's on the schedule. Oregon's on the schedule. Washington, look out. He's got a new show there, Average Joe Sports Show. Average Joe. That's not Gary Sharp. Yeah, maybe it is. He's live from Omaha. Gary, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, good evening, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing good. So I got to get your take first on our question of the day. And I don't know if you've seen this viral video, but it's a 12U baseball game. It's been viewed 2 million times today. Kirk Herbstreit and Danny Kanell and all sorts of guys. Everybody's sounding off. Doug Minkiewicz, former Major League Baseball player. It's a kid, 12U, Gary, hits a home run and slams the bat. It almost hits him in the face. Slams the bat, runs around, dancing around the bases, chest bumps the coach, and then they do a mini basketball. They throw it to him. He dunks it on a mini hoop. It's held by a coach after he crosses home plate. What are we doing? Is this one generation against another? Am I the fun police? Where do you stand on the baseball over-the-top 12U celebration and what it means?
Yeah, so I saw that as your poll question, Nate. And, I think as you watch it, and you're kind of involved in youth sports, and so we see parental behavior on the weekends, and we see some kids. Where are they getting that stuff from? They're watching professional athletes.
Yeah,
they're watching celebrations on the sideline in college. Now, some of these celebrations are, they're not over the top. They're not in your face. They're to celebrate your accomplishment, not to take it out on the other team. And I think when you see something like this, it's pretty jarring. But we've all had these coaches. I thought about, as I was watching the video, I had a coach who, a guy I played with in high school, made a big play, celebrated, wanted a lot of attention, and the coach basically, and he was one of our better players, was basically ready to throw him off the field. And he said, act like you've been there before.
Yeah.
Well, I know where these kids, boys and girls, because I watch them on the weekend. I watch a lot of AAU basketball, being involved in that world. They get it from the celebrations they see. Guaranteed, Nate, we're going to watch Curry hit a big shot tonight, and he's going to do the Curry, little shake. And I'm going to go to a gym this weekend. I'm going to see somebody hit a shot like that and do the same thing up the floor while they're beat up the floor with a layup at the other end. So, I think kind of as parents, you have to watch it a little bit. But our kids are watching their favorite athletes doing the same thing. But there are some that are over the top, and that is way out of line in terms of sportsmanship.
Doug Minkiewicz said the Me First show, this video that went viral today, harms baseball. I just have a problem with it, Gary, because there's no respect for our opponents. We lack respect in the world anyway, I think.
Yeah, no, you're onto something, Nate. I also think there's something else. There can be in the moment emotion of accomplishing something great, but when it seems like it's forced, then that's where it really gets uncomfortable. And I think as a teammate, if I see somebody that's trying to force, themselves on me or force like excitement or something like that, or they make a little 8-yard pass that goes for a first down and they celebrate like they've scored a touchdown. Man, I start to think twice about that person as a teammate.
Yeah, this one's wild. Watch it for yourself. It's our question of the day. Should we care about the 12U over-the-top home run celebration? It's been viewed over 2 million times. My audience, 64% say, yes, we should care. You can't do it. 36% say, no, move on. It's fine. I got a listener text, Gary. It said, I sound old, and I need to move on. Okay, I'm going to do that.
Okay, so let me ask you one thing. And I think, okay, if you were, Nate, let's say that that team was playing against a team that you had a child on.
Yeah.
How would you react as a parent? And would you say something out loud? Because that's where it starts, is parents start chirping at each other, and the next thing you know, we're meeting in the parking lot.
If I was on the opponent's side, I'd be pretty upset. Now, if I was on that team where the celebration's going on, there has to be something not quite right. I mean, I think they're having fun. I think they've lost the moral of the story.
Yeah, and I think you can see that in the video clip that's shared, whether it was staged or not. We have camera people on the field.
Yes.
Following. Yeah. So.
All right. Hey, let's go Huskers. Gary Sharp's in. We got to get Huskers. Spring ball's in the books. Now, people are already saying, what type of pressure cooker is Matt Rule under? I had a national writer on, John Bryce from USA Today. He said this year is a huge pressure cooker for Matt Rule. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, it's year number 4. back-to-back years of winning 7 games. Yeah, you went to a bowl game, but I think people expect more. And you mentioned at the open what the schedule is. You forgot about Indiana and Iowa. So there's 4 teams that will probably be ranked in the top 25. But again, you come to Nebraska to play those type of games, but those are the kind of games that Rule will be judged on this upcoming year. I think the expectations probably in my long time of following Nebraska football, covering Nebraska football, I don't know that they've ever been this low. And I think that also ties in with the attention towards spring. Granted, they had an early spring. Spring football around the country is kind of quiet, as quiet as it's ever been. But around here, the expectations are so low that spring came and went. Granted, Nebraska men's basketball were making the run like they were, but I think the expectations are really, really low. And it's so much that I think if they went 6-6, people would be like, oh my gosh, thank you. I actually think that they could win 7 games. But it's going to be, they need to beat somebody in year 4, Nate. They need to beat somebody that has a number in front of their name, and that being a ranked team. They haven't done that. Luke Fickell at Wisconsin has beaten a ranked team. They beat Washington last year in Madison when Washington came in their ranked. Matt Rule hasn't done that in his own career in a long time, and of course not at Nebraska in 3 years.
You tell me why the expectations are so low. Is apathy setting in? This is a great fan base. What's the story?
Well, I think people want football, okay? They don't want the fluff. They don't want the podcasts. They don't want the salesmanship. They just want football. They want to see football that looks like football. They don't need to be sold a bill of goods. Probably Rule had to do that in his first year and a half because he was taking over for Frost and it was so negative around here that he had to sell himself and he had to sell the program and sell the process and hang in there. Well, I think people bought it. And then last year, really, after the USC game when Dylan got hurt and then the way the season ended with 3 really, really bad losses, I think people said, what is the football? I don't see the football. And so Rule's really in a situation where he can't change anybody's mind until probably October when they play the stretch of Indiana, Oregon. They didn't have a huge splash in the portal. They didn't get a big-time guy. But I think they actually, and I'll give credit to Rule, I think he said, you know what, I messed up. He changed his staff a little bit. They got more blue-collar guys. They have guys that have Minnesota-Duluth connections. So they're not show-me guys that came from big programs. They're guys that have come where fundamental football, and also the University of South Dakota, where Rob Orch, their defensive coordinator, once was. You got to be pretty fundamentally sound. So I think Rule changed a little bit. Instead of the fluff, he went with, you know what, this is going to be football. And I also think he found a quarterback that fits his offensive coordinator and probably fits better into the team than Dylan did. And we'll see what kind of an impact that has. They'll be better on the offensive line. The biggest question will be, how are they going to stop anybody with that defensive line?
I did watch that QB at UNLV quite a bit. Quick, athletic, just makes plays. It'll be interesting. Can he play in the Big Ten? I watched him at UNLV quite a bit, the new Nebraska QB. So I'm looking at it saying, John Bryce, national writer, told me Nebraska, for Matt Rule to be in really good shape, needs to be in the playoff conversation. Not like, well, you got to make it, but he's got to be in that conversation late. Is that possible with a much harder schedule than last year?
Well, I'm going to say no to be in the playoff conversation. They still got some areas on the roster that are not in that echelon. Listen, unless it's a 4-win season or it's a very ugly 5-win season where they start 5-0, which is realistically possible, and they lose their last 7, Matt Rule is coming back for a 5th year. I mean, they extended him in the season last year. They, as of right now, have one of the top recruiting classes for 27. So unless it craters completely and there's no momentum and there's no hope, I think Matt Rule is back for a year 5. But they have to make strides where they're beating people that matter, not beating the people that they should beat. They got to beat people that they're going to be underdogs against, that they have to beat to get to where they're going.
Big names on the schedule: Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State, Iowa, Washington. There's some big names on that schedule for the Huskers coming up. Spring ball in the books, an early spring game for Nebraska this year. Gary Sharp covering it. Average Joe Sports Show. Find it, get it. He puts it out each week, part of that live from Omaha. Gary, I always appreciate you, man. Thanks.
Hey, thanks, Nate. Have a great evening.
Appreciate you. Gary Sharp from Omaha. Find it Average Joe Sports Show. Gary Sharp's new venture, Sports Talk host, play-by-play man from Omaha here on the Nate Brown Show. All right. Let's get into what we watched. Speaking of being old, well, I was watching last night. Were you guys watching? I was watching, but it's an interesting story of watching sports in 2026 as opposed to, back in the day. That's coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Andersen, we handle everything from start to finish and beyond. We are your full-service custom replacement solution. Buy one Acclaim replacement window or ensemble entry door and get the second 40% off with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Don't wait. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
School to college to the pros. From Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Welcome back in. Your Sports, Your Show. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. KWSN Fox Sports Sioux Falls. We're live on Fox Sports Rapid City. Our official outfitter of the Nate Brown Show is Trav's Outfitter. When it comes to work boots, if you're on your feet all day, you need the right fit. Trav's Outfitter staff, experts in work and Western footwear. Great apparel there. Great athletic shoes as well. They got a huge selection. As a matter of fact, best selection, best service, no BS. Trav's Outfitter. comfort and support matter when you work for a living, so don't just try and find the right shoes. Get the right ones with the staff at Trav's Outfitter. Campbell Street, new store, Rapid City. Check them out, travsoutfitter.com. South Dakota owned and proud of it. Dan Swartos coming up from the Activities Association. He's on the way. A couple of high school items I want to talk to Dan about. Scott Pianowski is going to break down some Major League Baseball, and are the Twins contenders at all? It's so early. Scott Pianowski, Yahoo Sports, he's coming up. It is a Wednesday. 5 questions from Chris on the way as well. Our loyal listener Chris on tap. Well, I had a little experience last night, though. I'll share that for a few minutes. Little experience last night. So you guys may tell me tonight that, well, I don't watch the NBA anyway, so I don't even know. Did you know the NBA, big games, this is the playoffs. They're starting. The play-in games, these are the playoffs. They're starting, and they're only on Prime Video. I'm a basketball fan, and you got to go to Prime Video to watch the NBA play-in games. They've got the exclusive deals, and more of them are tonight. Golden State's playing tonight. Your guy, Steph Curry, and everybody, okay? Why do I care about that? Well, here's a funny story. So we watch quite a bit of basketball in my house. We actually watch quite a bit of basketball. My younger daughter really likes watching basketball. Here's what I did last night. We're eating dinner. I pull up. I turn on the TV, but then I'm getting into Amazon Prime. I'm getting into Prime, and my younger daughter knows that there's basketball on. She knows that the NBA is on, and I'm getting into Prime, and what do you think she tells me? She turns around, she goes, "What are you doing?" She thinks we're all of a sudden going to watch a episode of, a movie or something. Because that's all she knows is on Prime is a movie, this show, that show. She thought we were going to break into some streaming show or something. She goes, "What are you doing?" That was the comment. I go, "I'm watching the NBA." She go, "What?" That tells you all you need to know. She had no clue. She was thinking, the NBA's on Amazon Prime? And then I turned it on there. She's like, oh, okay. And by the way, then I turned it on there, and you're watching the Heat and the Hornets late in the game, really, really tight, 26 seconds left, and Amazon Prime goes dark. It goes dark. And I'm thinking, well, they got to come back, technical difficulties. Are they going to come back? I mean, am I watching the Nate Brown Show stream? Are we going to come back? Yeah, we're back. Barely. So this could have been, this is a big-time deal here. You're paying a lot of money. You got to make sure that you've got this buttoned up. We got streamers that are going dark, and it's just not here's the thing. They don't know how to do sports. They just don't know how to do sports. The Amazon Prime Thursday night games, it took them forever to figure out the audio. I didn't know if I was in a church or watching Thursday night football. You couldn't hear squat. So they didn't know how to figure that out. And then Bill Simmons, he's the big NBA fan. If you don't want to listen to my complaints, Bill Simmons, huge NBA guy, right? Has his own podcast. Bill Simmons said this. The other thing with Amazon, this entire season, the audio has been a second behind the video. A three-pointer is halfway to the basket. Boom, it's good. And the ball hasn't even gone in yet. So Bill Simmons is saying, you guys have $8 kajillion. How have you not figured this out? And so that's the complaint is the CBSs, the Foxes, the ESPNs, the TNTs, they know sports. They've done sports. Amazon's just trying to hope we don't go dark in overtime of an NBA game. And we did last night. We barely came back. We came back, barely. And then I'm glad my old man, I'm an old man, I was able to tell my 13-year-old daughter, sports is on Amazon. This is a new world. You can actually watch live. She thought we were going to break into Netflix next and watch Stranger Things. We were watching the NBA, but it's on streaming. And is it a good call or not? I do think, I know they're grabbing the money. They're taking the money. It's huge money. I still think it's not a great call, and I know it's just the play-in, but they've got the exclusive deal. Eventually, that's why that's why the DOJ and the government's looking into the stuff. They're looking into this stuff because eventually they don't want all of these games, all of them, on the streaming stuff. And I think that's a fair thing to look at. The NBA and some of these big leagues need to stay on broadcast TV, and the government's kind of just making sure, hey, I know you're putting some of this stuff on streaming. There's quite a bit on streaming. We don't want all of this stuff on streaming, and I think that's fair, right? Yeah. I hope it doesn't go dark tonight. Yeah, watch it. Buffering. Coming right back. 5 questions from Chris coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Could there be a better name? Auto Value Parts Stores. They aren't just about air fresheners or fuzzy dice. Auto Value Parts Stores are all about parts, auto parts, and advice. Pros who know auto parts with tons of tips when you need them the most. You want real value? Don't go to a place with a cute name. Go to Auto Value. Could there be a better name? I didn't think so. Your Auto Value Parts Store. We've got the parts, we've got the smarts.
You'll find the best used cars and trucks at the place that sells the best new cars and trucks, and that's Denny Menlo Toyota. Shop over 300 used cars, trucks, and sport utilities available, including the area's best selection of used Toyotas. Buy select Toyota certified pre-owned with financing as low as 4.75% APR for up to 60 months, including RAV4s. See us at Denny Menlo Toyota or DennyMenloToyota.com. 1876 per 1,000 finance, regardless of down with qualified credit, expires 5/4/26.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at BHOSC.com.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
Hanging with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales. I see new models of stand-up and teardrop campers on your lot.
Yes, you do. We're proud to feature the new SGC Armor line of campers from Bontrager Outdoors. Bang for the buck, there's just nothing out there like these new super cool Armor campers and Bontrager teardrops.
And the suspension these campers have? Wow, so impressive.
All our campers come standard with the off-road package. Bontrager and Armor just ramped boondocking up another notch. And right now, you'll get the best price all year on these 2026 ultra-light, ultra-beefy, option-loaded campers and teardrops.
You gotta check out these new look campers, people. The new designs are fantastic, and so many options for their size.
And so many options for towing. No need for a diesel or a big truck. These only weigh around 1,500 to 2,000 pounds, so they can be towed by almost any rig.
Check out these new 2026 Bontrager and SGC Armor campers, everyone. See anytime.com, and as always, at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales. One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
One more time.
All right, glad you're here. Thanks for making the show possible. We appreciate you. Hope you've had a great Wednesday. We're in the second hour of the Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. It is always a great day in South Dakota. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here. KWSN Sioux Falls and Fox Sports Rapid City. Two great guests coming up. Dan Swartos is on tonight. We try and catch up with him once every month or two to talk high school activities. He's the executive director of the South Dakota High School Activities Association. What does he think about the constitutional amendments that's going to school boards for a vote about reclassifying middle school kids? So I didn't realize this was happening, but other states I've heard about it, and there was a big article in the Wall Street Journal about this, and I thought, well, that's just in California and places like that. But South Dakota is going to try to address this, holding back a child and then giving them an extra year of high school sports. That's essentially, so if you're an 8th grader, then you decide to hold back again, you're not going to get an extra year of high school sports if you've already used one up there. Like if you're an 8th grader and you've played, you can't hold back and then get an extra year. That's what this constitutional amendment's addressing. We'll talk to Dan Swartos about that and where that came from coming up. Scott Pianowski's on tonight, Major League Baseball writer for Yahoo Sports. We will break things down with the Twins and more. It is a Wednesday on the Nate Brown Show. Text line is open, 605-720-1067. Your thoughts there, 605-720-1067. That's the Barron's Wilson text line. And the Pizza Ranch studio hotline as well, 605-720-1067. How you can join the conversation. Pizza Ranch studio hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch in Brandon and East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Here we go.
It's time for 5 questions from Chris on the Nate Brown Show.
Chris, you got the questions in. I'm ready. 5 questions from Chris. Every Wednesday on the Nate Brown Show, he always brings it. Let's see what I got. Question number 1. Nate, I realize you aren't the biggest fan of the ABS challenge system in Major League Baseball, but it's becoming obvious to me that the same system should be used for check swings now. Oh, Chris is a big baseball fan. Do you guys know this? Chris says, we're 3 weeks into baseball. Should the league office allow check swings to be decided by the ABS system? No! Stop, Chris! Just stop! Well, I don't like the automated ball and strike challenge system. Tapping the helmet, tapping this, rubbing your stomach. And now we're going to challenge, check swing. Just let Larry down at first decide if it was a check swing or not. Let it go. I can't tell if he broke his wrist. If he broke his wrist, he did. See ya. No challenge. Oh, man. Hey, I'm going to challenge that check swing. Let's go to the system. Was it a check swing? Was it not? I'm done with it. I'm out. Question number 2. Is that good enough, Chris? I'm wild today. I'm ready. Question number 2. Oklahoma City Thunder dominated the regular season of the NBA. They had a poorly rated NBA Finals with OKC and Indiana last year. How worried should Disney be of another poorly rated NBA Finals? I don't think that worried. The numbers for the NBA were up this year significantly, and I think that had to do with the NBC deal. I think that was big to put Sunday Night Basketball on, and more people watch the NBA this year than in a long time, Chris. So I think it's going to be fine, and OKC might make a run to the finals. We'll see who can get there on the east side. If it's like Boston, I think you're going to be in good shape. So last year, Indiana, Oklahoma City wasn't outstanding for interest, and I think this year you're going to have a turnaround there in the NBA Finals, even if OKC, smaller markets in. Question number 3. This coming weekend in Phoenix, there is a Division I women's flag football tournament. As flag football becomes more popular around the country, do you think we'll see college flag football games on national broadcasts within the next few years? Probably, Chris. I don't know if people are gonna, flock to it and be like, hey, I gotta watch this flag football game. But everything is put on. I mean, they got so much stuff to fill. They'll put college flag football games on. I mean, they're doing tournaments. They're doing stuff. It's going to be in the Olympics. College flag football games on national broadcast? Yeah, I think so. Next few years, I think you'll see that. I mean, good Lord, we got UFL games on, and we even have South Dakota sports broadcasters that watch the UFL. It's amazing. Question number 4. Rockies fans are happy with the news that the Broncos ownership group became a 40% owner of the Rockies. As you know, they have plenty of money. For the longest time, though, the NFL forbid owners of an NFL team from owning another pro sports team. Do you think that this is okay? Well, you got me on this, Chris, because I'm a Broncos fan, so the Penner Walton Sports Group there that owns the Broncos, I'm happy, right? I'm happy, and then you got the Rockies who are flailing, they're struggling, and so I think that's okay. I think it's okay, but I'm a little biased. So people have said, well, the argument is, would you want the owner of the Jets owning the Mets? Would you want the owner of the Jets owning the Mets? I don't know if you'd want that. I don't know if you want the Broncos owners owning the Rockies, but you got the Avalanche and the Nuggets owned by the Cronkies. I think it's just how it's going. The billionaires, they have everything. And I don't think people are like, well, you can't own the Broncos and the Rockies. I think people are over that. Maybe I'm missing it, but I don't think it's a really bad deal. I think fans that want the Rockies to do well want rich owners. That's it. 5 questions from Chris, and question number 5. The Angels hold the current longest postseason drought in Major League Baseball, 11 years without going to the postseason. The Angels are 500 right now. Look ahead. Do you think the Angels make an appearance in the postseason? 9-9 record. There's a long way to go. I have no idea if the Angels... Aren't the Mariners going to be in that mix again? I'm going to go Mariners. Can the Angels squeak in? I have no clue. I'm going to say, book it today, Chris. No. The Angels' postseason drought will be 12 years without the postseason. 5 questions from Chris. Knocked down on a Wednesday. I did my best. Dan Swartos is in next. South Dakota High School Activities Association Executive Director. What does it mean if parents are holding back their kids in middle school? Are they trying to get extra sports years in high school? And will South Dakota go for that? Dan Swartos coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Anderson, we handle everything from start to finish and beyond. We're your full-service custom replacement solution. Buy one Acclaim replacement window or ensemble entry door and get the second 40% off with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Don't wait. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
Hey, mama, hey.
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Are there as many kinds of vehicles as there are kinds of people? We think so. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we help all kinds of people come together with all kinds of vehicles. With loans made to fit everyone and every ride.
Great news. I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right. Educated on high school sports and activities. A couple of things I want to discuss. Executive Director of the Activities Association in Pierre. Dan, welcome on. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate your time, as always. I want to get into something that I wasn't aware of as much, and maybe it's not rampant, but it must be happening because I'm reading some of the stuff you guys have been going over at the Activities Association, and this is a constitutional amendment that's going to go to school boards, to member schools that would vote on this. And this is about middle school participation and high school activities. And so, you read into this, I read into this, you're saying, people are saying, can my child repeat 8th grade for sports before starting 9th grade? And so get into this. I've heard this is happening around the country. I have an 8th grader. Well, we're going to try 8th grade again. I'm going to do high school sports and get an extra year. So is this happening in South Dakota? Is that why this came up?
Well, we ran an amendment last year to try to address this. We added a limitation on the number of semesters in middle school that you could participate in high school athletics. But it wasn't stated in there directly that your middle school eligibility runs directly into your high school eligibility. And I had probably, I would say, 10 to 15 parents call last fall asking if they're able to do this and wanting to either repeat 8th grade or homeschool for a year and have a kid just do club sports for a year before they started their high school career. So we thought it was important to get the language in there so that it was spelled out pretty clearly, and we're informed about it.
Okay, so what this is if I have an 8th grade daughter or son and they've played some high school activities and then they want to say, well, I'm going to do 8th grade again, that would essentially burn up 1 year of their eligibility. If they already used it, that counts. And so this constitutional amendment would say there's going to be no surprises. Like if you are a senior and you've done that, it's not like you would stop people from doing that, right, Dan? They just would run out of eligibility, correct?
Yes. Their 8 semesters of eligibility in high school would then start. And if they do that to do another year of 8th grade, then that's fine. But then, after their 8 semesters, which if they do that for a year, it'd be after their junior year, they'd be out of eligibility.
How do you
now, we've also got, if there's legitimate reasons, if there's, we have an 8-semester waiver. If something happens where a kid needs to repeat, or we've had it where kids have been in, they've been getting cancer treatments, or they've just about everything under the sun. But something has happened that has prevented them from attending school and graduating with their 4-year cohort, and they need to go to an extra year of school. We've got a waiver for that. So if there's legitimate reasons for kids that need to repeat the 8th grade or take another year before they start high school, there is a waiver for that, a hardship waiver that we can use for that. But it's just saying there is no red shirt year. You don't get a gap year or a reclassification year to go do this. The intention of being in school is being in school and not retaking 8th grade just so that you have an extra year of playing high school sports.
Yeah, that's interesting. Why do you think this has been an issue that's cropped up?
I don't know. It's been mostly the inquiries I've gotten from are from wrestling parents. Actually, it's been wrestling parents, and a lot of the times it's my kid's in 8th grade and he's 70 pounds, and we want another year for him to grow and not waste a year waiting for him to get up to 100 pounds so that he can safely wrestle. Some of it's that. But there's Daniel Cormier is a big guy in the MMA world and was a collegiate wrestler, and he's like encouraged people to reclassify their kids, and he's done it with his kids. So there's people out there kind of pushing that, for kids who, if you're trying to push your kids into collegiate sports or whatever, there's people kind of pushing kids to do that.
So you think
that might be part of it? I don't know what all the reasons are. I think there's a variety of reasons.
Okay, so a constitutional amendment must receive 60% favorable vote from member schools. So this is going to go to a vote, and if the school says 60% say, then this would go into effect.
Correct.
Okay. I think about that, and I wonder if it is, something that, I've had people argue on both sides, Dan, of this as well. People say, well, I should be able to, decide what I can do in repeat 8th grade and still play high school sports. And I think people have said that, but I've said it myself. That doesn't mean essentially they're trying to get an extra year of high school eligibility. That's what it feels like to me.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's not every case, but when we're getting involved, that's generally the case of it. They want an extra year, or they want to push it back. There's some that have said, I want to homeschool and have my kid do club sports for a year and then start 9th grade. And they're just pushing back. They want to push back the start. They're not doing an extra year of 8th grade middle school sports. They're just pushing back. They want to push back the start of when the 8th semester starts.
Yeah. And there is an age limit that you guys had in there. I did see 20 years old, but in this case, most kids would be, if you did hold back, you'd hit that number of 19 usually. So that's why you're trying to clarify this. Okay, we'll see where this goes. It'll go to the vote of member schools to see if they want to adopt this constitutional amendment. Dan Swartos on tonight, Executive Director for the Activities Association. I just was hearing some stuff at the State Site Selection Committee yesterday. This is where state events should be held, state tournaments. One of the things discussed was girls' state basketball in the big arenas. The crowd in Rapid City maybe wasn't great for the AA girls. What do you think is going to or should happen because of a big arena holding girls' state basketball? Is that something the teams and schools want still?
Well, we're going to check on that. I mean, ironically, the conversation started talking about how great we thought the environment was in the ice arena for AA boys this year. It seemed like almost a perfect size, and it didn't feel so cavernous. So it started out, because AA boys were in the ice arena this year, that went really well. It was a great environment in there. It was loud. And it started out on that, and then we were talking about, well, what do we do then when the AA girls come out here? Do we put them in the ice arena, or because we have them contracted to be in the monument, which obviously is a world-class facility, a fantastic facility that we love going to. But the discussion is, is it a better having that smaller environment? Is that a better atmosphere for the kids and for the fans, or not? And we had the AA girls in the ice arena several years ago, and that was because the monument was booked out. There was a concert there in the Summit Arena. So we had the girls in the ice arena, and we kind of heard about it from some people saying, "Oh, you let the boys play in the monument,
right?
Now you're sticking or in the Summit. You're sticking the girls in the ice arena.
You can't win."
I mean, and they're both fantastic facilities, and I know they're going to redo. They're going to put a new video board up in the ice arena here in the next couple of years, and new ribbon boards and everything. And so, I mean, we'll get feedback from our schools on what they want to do. It doesn't really matter to us, and we're working with the same people at the monument either way, and they're fantastic to work with, and they'll do a great job no matter where we have it. So it really was a matter of, gosh, we did the AA boys in the ice arena this year, and it was pretty great. It was the atmosphere was fantastic, and do we want to do that? We want to put the girls in there too, and so that's really where it started.
I really wonder what people want on this, Dan, because I heard from some coaches on social media that said, well, we got to figure out what our goals are. Is it best experience for the players, best experience for the fans, increased attendance? So what is your goal when you're trying to decide where to put a state basketball tournament?
It's kind of a mix of all those things. I mean, the first thing on that list is it adequate and safe for the kids? And then beyond that is it a good experience for the kids and the teams? And then we start getting into the fan experience and everything else. But at the forefront of it has got to be safety for the kids, and then the experience of the kids, and that gets a little tricky too, because it just kind of depends on who you ask.
Yeah, it really does.
They're all going to think something different.
Dan Swartos on tonight. One more, I'll let him run. Activities directors just met. They vote on some things. They had some discussions. Any headlines out of that?
I think it all kind of went how we expected. We'll have those votes. We'll put those votes out here in the next couple of days with the agenda.
Okay.
The votes there was something on the 22 games, and we thought there would be some concerns with schools on the costs of that on a lean budget year, and I think that's what the votes bore out on there. Otherwise, I don't think it was anything too surprising to us as to what we thought going in.
Well, look at that. Activities directors met for their meeting. They had some discussions and some votes that'll be coming out. We'll get on that. Dan, you just talked about budget just a minute there. It's just a general question. Are schools' budgets tighter than ever when it comes to activities?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think they're, there's been a decline in the birth rate, and that's led to a decline in students. And funding model for the schools is based on the number of students you have. So I think a lot of schools are trying to balance that and work that into their overall budget. And they got an increase this year, I know, which they're thankful for. But they've got to balance that, and they've got insurance increase, and costs for them are going up for utilities and everything, and property insurance and everything else, just like everyone else has. So I think we're coming into a few lean years here for the schools as they sort of sort out what their student population is going to do here, and there'll be a lot of good people working really hard to make sure that they're able to do that. And we try to take that into account this year and try to do the best we could with like football schedules. We really looked at geography, and there's some that you can't, some travel that you can't avoid, but really tried to cut down on as much as we could and be mindful of geography. And there's some people that wanted that had requested to do it. I know, like Parkston and Hill City had a mutual request to play each other, so we made that happen. Parkston and Hill City. Otherwise, that's not probably a natural one we would have scheduled, but for the most part, we tried to look at, as much as we could, look at geography and do what we could with schedules.
Dan Swartos joining us tonight, South Dakota High School Activities Association Executive Director. Always appreciate him on the Nate Brown Show. Dan, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Dan Swartos in tonight on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. A couple of items there. Big constitutional amendment going to the school boards about reclassifying. They call it, the red shirt year, reclassification year. And people, if you're listening to the show, what's this all mean? There's been some instances, and he just clarified some of this, in South Dakota where 8th graders have participated in varsity high school sports. They've already participated as an 8th grader. They may want to repeat 8th grade and still have the same number of years for high school sports. And this amendment would say, no, if you played high school sports, that eligibility counts. Even though you're a middle schooler, you still played high school sports. That counts. You don't get an extra year to play high school sports. So essentially your eligibility would run out. I mean, they wouldn't stop you from playing, but you'd run out by your senior year if you repeated 8th grade. That's what this is saying, and this vote's going to go to the school boards across South Dakota to try and, I think, stop that reclassifying year in 8th grade. All right, we'll talk Major League Baseball. The Twins are in first. Will this be a thing? I know it's really early. Scott Pianowski, great Major League Baseball writer, Yahoo Sports, coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Andersen, we handle everything from start to finish and beyond. We are your full-service custom replacement solution. Buy one Acclaim replacement window or ensemble entry door and get the second 40% off with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Don't wait. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown.
It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show where we talk baseball. Anybody else talk baseball? You got to talk baseball. Fox Sports Radio, especially when the Twins are in first. We got to take advantage of this. I don't know, man. Byron Buxton on fire, 4 for 4, 2 dingers yesterday. I mean, look out for the Twins. We never thought that was the case. Let's talk Major League Baseball with Yahoo Sports' Scott Pianowski. Season underway, 3 weeks in. Scott, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing great, Nate. How are you?
I'm doing good. So I want your perspective. You've covered the game a long time. You break down the numbers. You got it. 162-game season. Twins are in first in the AL Central 3 weeks in. Does that matter?
It definitely matters because it's not a great division. We saw 87, 88 wins, something like that, won the division last year. I'm not sure anybody here gets to 90. Cleveland is a flawed team. Detroit is a flawed team. Chicago is not ready to contend. Kansas City is a team still trying to figure out what they are. So this is a chance where you win 85, 86 games, you might steal the division. And so many times it comes down to pitching. And the Minnesota pitching has been so much better than expected. When Buxton is healthy, he's an all-star, maybe even a quasi-MVP candidate. So, why not Minnesota?
Okay. I can't believe it. Nobody ever thought that going in, but I guess you said it. The AL Central is just gettable. But do you expect the Tigers to make some noise here after a slow start?
It's an all-in season for them because I'm not sure if Skubal is going to re-sign. He's probably wants to go to market. And if they're in the hunt, they have to try to add pieces. We saw they threw the big contract to Kevin McGonigal, their rookie, who looks really good. Max Clark is eventually going to come up. So this is a season where all their chips are going to be pushed in. But I still don't think that the team that wins more than 90, 91, 92 games, if everything goes right, if they get Riley Green back to the All-Star game, Torkelson hasn't hit so far. Again, this is not a division where you're chasing the Dodgers or you're chasing the Yankees or you're chasing some behemoth, some team that's going to outspend you, some team that's looked down on you for 10 years in a row. The division just doesn't have that right now.
So what do you think Twins fans going into this, Scott? There's a lot of Twins fans up here. They were like, they're upset. The team, they want him sold. They don't spend money. This has just been a mess. They're changing, GMs and the whole thing. So fans have been negative, but can the Twins say you don't have to break the bank to win?
Well, also, let's look at what they did last year, right? They're not in the contention. They trade their closer to Philadelphia, Durant, and they get this kid, Nick Abel, who was a number 1 draft pick 4 or 5 years ago, has been a little bit up and down in that Philadelphia system. And even though his first 2 starts weren't great, he shuts out Detroit for 6 innings, and he strikes out 10 Tigers the last time he pitched. I mean, maybe he's a legitimate rotation piece. They do a nice job getting Taj Bradley going. Right now, he looks very good. At one point, he was a highly touted prospect. This is the types of things you do. You have to – how does Milwaukee do it? How does Tampa Bay do it, right? You have to be smarter. You're not going to outspend people. You're not going to do it with the big signature signing, although maybe once you get more competitive, you might dip your toes in on one guy. You better get it right. Look at the Angels, right? How many times did they get it wrong? With Pujols, with Josh Hamilton, with Anthony Rendon. We always come back to that stat that the entire time they had Trout and Ohtani together, not only did they not make the playoffs, they never had a winning record. But you just got to be a little bit smarter. And I think in the case of Abel, it's only been 4 starts, 2 good, 2 not so good, although the last start was outstanding. Go check the highlights on that. 10 strikeouts. He had 4 pitches working against the decent Red Sox lineup. It's just a matter of you're going to have to win in the margins. You're not going to win in the above-fold news. You're going to have to win kind of in the agate.
Listener text coming in, a question for Scott Pianowski with this ABS system, the challenge system. Number 1, do you think it's going okay? Number 2, should they use it for check swings now?
I wouldn't have a problem with it. Well, what have we learned is that the catchers are almost always right and everybody else is pretty much always wrong. But it's quick. It's kind of fun to get the graphic up there. It's very similar to tennis where there's a challenge. You see it. It's adjudicated. It moves on. I think the big thing for me was it going to bog down pace of play? It certainly hasn't done that. So I wouldn't mind check swings. That's another thing I'd like to see get right. The key is you don't want to have too many of them, and it has to be quick, and that hasn't been a problem. So yeah, I'm in on the system, and I think it's here to stay. And who knows, maybe it can be tweaked to add some stuff, as the listener pointed out.
Scott Pianowski on tonight. Follow him at Scott_Pianowski on X. Find him at Yahoo Sports, talking Major League Baseball. So Dodgers are 13-4, best record in the league. 3-peat, is this thing we're just going to be watching?
Well, first of all, we always talk about the Dodgers have 9 toes in the playoffs when the season starts, and they're going to be very liberal with the injury list. They have a bunch of pitchers. If any pitcher has a hiccup with their forearm or elbow or shoulder, they're going to go on the IL. And the crazy thing is, some things haven't even gone right. I mean, Betts is hurt. There's some guys aren't hitting. Obviously, Pages has been better than expected. Right now, he leads the National League in batting average. He's been a breakout star. But it comes down to the Dodgers. They say before the season, look, we have 8 pitchers, 9 pitchers. They haven't really figured out what Sasaki is yet. Is he a starter? Is he a reliever? Is he even somebody who needs to go to the minors for a while? But they're going to throw 8 or 9 starting pitchers at the problem. I don't know when Blake Snell's going to come back. They just want him for October. I think at some point they'll probably pull back an Ohtani, skip him a start or 2. They want him for October. We saw how great Yamamoto was in the playoffs last year. Glasnow has Cy Young stuff. He'll probably throw 115, 120 innings. These are the advantages you have when you're not really playing to qualify. You're just playing to get in form, stay healthy, and then throw the best version of your roster at everybody in October.
Does anybody care that they're messing with the numbers, paying Ohtani nothing and paying him for the next decade, essentially? Does anybody care?
I mean, that ship has sailed. He's been there. That contract was signed a few years ago. They were creative. Ohtani was willing to do it. The whole idea of, well, why doesn't everybody do that? We have to find players who are willing to take their money later and willing to take a contract like that. A lot of players don't want to. We always joke about, what is it, June 2nd is Bobby Bonilla Day because the Mets are still paying Bonilla that deferred money. Ohtani is so marketable and doesn't need the money right now, so he's fine to do a deal like that. And we're seeing, again, I mentioned McGonigal in passing. How many times you see these young kids come up, right? Connor Griffin did it in Pittsburgh. Rather than go through the arbitration game, rather than make no money now, I'll sell some of my value to get a big contract. If I'm great in 8 years and 10 years, I'll get another big contract anyway. It's just a matter of, how much of your money do you want to get now? How much do you want to get later? Are you willing to sell some of your upside for some security? Bryce Harper signed that mega deal with Philadelphia. There's some whispers he's not happy about it, but maybe you don't sign a 13-year contract if you're going to feel that way. Yeah, it's all a matter of how much does it matter to you? Are you going to bet on yourself? Are you going to bet on good health? Nobody knows what the future holds. A lot of these guys might be taking these contracts because they're worried about a lockout. Obviously, that's something we have to worry about when the season ends. But there's no right or wrong answer to this. It's all about what's important to the player and what type of financial portfolio do they want.
Scott Pianowski joining us tonight. Last one, I was told by a sports reporter in Denver yesterday that the Rockies fans are really happy that the Broncos owners, Walton Penner Group, gets 40% minority stake. This writer told me the Broncos owners are going to be the eventual majority owners. Will the Rockies be able to turn this around with new owners?
I'd certainly like to see new ownership there. Such a great city, a very clean city, a beautiful ballpark. But the problem is that it's just so hard to get pitching that holds up there year over year. You tax your arm so much. How can you get great pitchers to want to go there? People have talked about maybe you just have to steer into it. Invest all in offense. Invest in the best defensive outfield you can because there's so much acreage in that park, and try to win every game 8-7 if you can. Because of the atmosphere, because they just play such a different style of baseball that nobody else plays, right? There are other hitter parks. Fenway's a great place to hit, but Milwaukee's a home run park. But those stadiums don't play that way. They're not that extreme. So until they solve that, I don't know how they can have sustainability. They've had runs before. They did make the World Series once. They were swept in 4 by Boston in 2007. But I just don't know how you get pitchers to want to compete there.
Scott Pianowski, great stuff. We're just getting started. YahooSports.com, Major League Baseball. I appreciate you, man. Thanks.
Good to talk to you, Nate.
Good to have him on tonight. South Dakota Sports Talk Show featuring Scott Pianowski, YahooSports.com, Major League Baseball writer, one of the best baseball guys in the country, breaking it down. Twins, Rockies. He said it matters that the Twins are in first place right now. He thinks the AL Central could be a race. I think he's in Detroit. Is that where Scott's at? I think he's in Detroit. So he's watching the Tigers as well. Twins are 11 wins right now, 11-8. Tigers 8-9. Twins are looking good. Looking good. They just lost today to the Red Sox, but they've been in good shape. We'll see if this can last. He thinks the AL Central will be a race. Speaking of the Twins game, though, yesterday, it's going to go in my who's not category. This is a Twins fan and player interaction that doesn't sound good to me. Who's hot and who's not coming up?
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Some bread just exists. From its origin in a land far away to its destination as a bland sandwich. Country Hearth, it's made right here in the Midwest and is ready to get busy in your kitchen. Grilled or toasted and stacked sky high with all the meats and veggies. This is bread with a purpose, making every sandwich better than the last. From classic comfort to creative cravings, Country Hearth is always the right base. Don't just build a sandwich, build a legend with Country Hearth. At Dakota Bank, we're more than just a place to bank. We're your neighbors. From everyday banking to home mortgages, insurance, and trust services, we're here for every step of your financial journey. We believe in doing what's right for you because we live here, work here, and care about our communities just like you do. Go with confidence, go with trust, go with Dakota Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Insurance and investment products are not FDIC insured, may lose value, and have no bank guarantee.
Hey Black Hills, this is Scott Hanna.
And this is Adam Ray, and we have a full-service mechanical repair shop, Gateway Tire and Alignment, right here, right now.
We have top-of-the-line equipment with skilled, experienced, expert mechanics.
Offering all services from oil changes starting at $49.95 to brakes, to free AC checks, diagnostics, engine work, even diesel.
We can get you in now. No more waiting for weeks to get your car in for service.
We're your one-stop shop for sales and service.
Visit us at 123 Omaha or go to GatewayAutoplex.com to book your appointment.
Gateway Sales and Service.
I'm Scott Hanna.
And I'm Adam Ray.
And nobody, I mean nobody,
beats a Gateway deal.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Mainly clear skies tonight with lows around 50. Winds out of the southwest 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly cloudy skies expected tomorrow. Chance of thunderstorms. Highs around 73. A mixture of precipitation likely tomorrow night. Lows dip down to about 30. Cloudy skies. A dusting of snow tomorrow night through Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 68 degrees.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
It's the Big 24 at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. We're celebrating 24 years with an April packed with chances to win big. Every Friday and Saturday from 8 p.m. till midnight, we're giving away a share of over $50,000 in cash and prizes. Be here for drawings twice each hour with growing prizes as the night goes on, including 5 chances to win $1,000 from 10 p.m. till midnight. Come be a part of our 24th anniversary at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort in Deadwood. How will your night play out?
As a rancher in western South Dakota, you know the meaning of hard work. From working cattle to working in the field, you know that the job begins before dawn and can last into the night. You also know that at the end of the day, it's more than just work. It's a way of life. When it comes to banking, you need a bank that values your time and is committed to your growth. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
All right, let's do this. Who's hot and who's not? We wrap up the show every night at this time. It's brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. Best buffet in town is at the Pizza Ranch. Fried chicken, salad bar, cactus bread. The best buffet. They'll make it your way. You want the favorite pizza? They'll make it. East 10th Street, Sioux Falls, and in Brandon, the Pizza Ranch. Locally owned and operated. Home of everyone's favorite buffet. In my Who's Hot category tonight, the NBA, I'm telling you, the viewership, people want to say, oh, I don't watch this, I don't watch that. The NBA had a huge year. 57 telecasts, reached an average of 2 million viewers in the regular season. What's that mean? That's the most since 2012. Most regular season viewers of most since 2012 on TV. How about attendance? What do you think, like in the arenas? Past 3 seasons in the NBA, higher than any other 3-season span in league history. So attendance over the past 3 years of the NBA, higher than any 3-season span in league history. So numbers are there. They just released them yesterday, and people breaking things down. The league's best numbers of viewers in 24 years with their new media partners. You could say it's fluff. Seems like they're in pretty good shape. I think the NBA is going to be okay. It'll be all right. Now, in my Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, you always got to watch this stuff when players say something that fans said. But yesterday, Boston Red Sox outfielder Jarren Duran, did the middle finger, directed the gesture toward a fan at Target Field. Minnesota, nice. The fans are nice, right? He said, they asked him about it, why'd you do that to that fan? Jarren Duran, who's discussed severe depression and a suicide attempt in a Netflix series, this player, he said the fan, after he grounded out, the fan yelled to him, "You should kill yourself." And so he said, "I'm used to it at this point, but I'm going to flip somebody off if they say something to me. It is what it is." If that happened, not a good look. Not a good look. So I haven't seen that Netflix series, but Boston Red Sox player, I saw the video. I was like, wait, he grounded out and then he did that to the fan. That's what he said the fan said at Target Field. So he's spoken about his mental health, and he said, it's my fault for talking about my mental health, but I just don't know why fans are just absolutely terrible. So I don't know if that went down, but Duran and MLB saying they're going to look into that. Just can't do stupid stuff, and I don't know why fans continue to cross the line, especially Minnesota fans. Come on now. Got to be better. We're back tomorrow on the Nate Brown Show. It is a Thursday. Rob Kegron's ready to go. It will be a happy hour Thursday with Rob Kegron and some great guests. Thanks for listening to the Nate Brown Show. The podcast is getting ready to go up. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Get everything for your automotive needs at Menards. We have what you need to